I am 20 and I bought a car myself, I insure it myself, I pay for all my own gas and maintenance and everything. I'm temporarily living at home and my parents wanted me to give them the spare car keys so they could move the car if it was in the way ever. I said okay. It turns out when I have been out or not paying attention, they've been lending my car to my sister who is 17 and has a minor's driving license. I told them that wasn't okay to have done without asking me, plus I told my sister to stop taking my car out. I don't like her driving it because I don't have my car insured for a minor driving it, and what if she crashes? Plus, even though I'm hardly going out, I don't like seeing my car missing with no warning randomly. Anyway, my sister has used my car several times since then. I think my parents let it slide, they know she's doing it, even though I don't like it. I asked for my keys back, and they said it would be too inconvenient to not have them, because we have to double park in our driveway, and sometimes cars need to be moved. So I made a plan. I put an old cell phone in the glove box, on a charger. And I installed a Track My Child sort of app on the phone, so I could see where it was going. So, when I saw my car gone one day, I called my friend who picked me up, and we went to where the car was. It was parked in the downtown area of the city on the street. I took it back with my keys and we drove it to my friend's house to hide it. Then my friend dropped me off back at home. My parents got a call later that day from my sister panicking saying she was stranded in the city, she'd lost the car. They drove out to get her, and they all came home. I started asking questions like, what were you doing with the car, did you lock it? Are you sure? Did you misremember where you parked? You're sure it's stolen? And my sister was freaking out, like saying she was sure she locked it and she was sure of where she parked it and it was stolen. I was like, well, maybe you know how I feel, having my car stolen with no warning all the time. It screws, right? You go expecting the car to be somewhere and it's gone. She was like, but that's different, it was just me driving, you know the family has keys. And I was like, you know I have keys, right? I'm sure it will turn up somewhere. My sister and parents realized I had the car by then, and my sister was furious for stranding her in the city at night, for making her think for a long time that the car had been carjacked, etc. My parents are also pissed that I didn't think of her safety when I left her without a way home. Edit to explain about the safety thing. I took the car back in the early afternoon, I didn't expect her to be out till nighttime. It wasn't a sketchy area, the area was a rich neighborhood that's always crawling with cops. There were also gas stations and convenience stores open all night that she could have gone into to wait. I'm a young woman myself, I went to college near that area, and I never had any trouble being out there late and alone. Being stuck there would be inconvenient, but not really sketchy. Am I the idiot for stealing my car back? Everyone's the idiot here. Your sister for taking your car despite the fact that you've told her not to. Your parents for making it possible for your sister to gain access to the spare key. And you for stranding your sister like that. This is a great example of, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Did you teach her a lesson? Yes. But not the lesson you wanted to teach. You taught her that you are vindictive and prone to escalation with no regard for her safety. Put a club steering lock on your car, make sure you are the only one with a key. Make sure you are the only one that drives your car ever. Tell your parents that if they want your minor sister to drive herself so much they can loan her their car. Your car is not theirs to loan to anyone. Tell your sister that if she ever takes your car again without permission, you will report it to the police as stolen. By the way, you can't steal your own property, you took back something that belongs to you from the person that did steal it. Everyone's the idiot here. Your parents screw for not listening to you and providing your sister with your keys. Your sister screws for driving your car without your permission. You screw for not standing up for yourself and not insisting on getting your keys back. You're all in the same house together, surely you'd be able to find and reclaim them at some point. Seriously. Figure out the parking situation, if you're not going anywhere anyways, then you go and move your car. This is a really simple solution for the issue. Stranding your sister in a city is an idiot move. For almost 13 years, I was paying nearly 38% of my pre-tax income as child support for my daughter. My ex-wife was always assigned minimum wage despite her choice to stay at home while her husband worked. She has a higher earning potential than I do. Part of this child support was earmarked for a college fund. But it was up to my ex's discretion on how it gets invested. I had no say despite fighting for that right. This support order has really made me suffer for years financially, but I never once missed a payment. My wife and I even delayed having kids just so I could afford paying the support. My daughter turned 18 2 months ago, and I finally have the money to start saving up a college fund for my 2 younger children who are 8-month-old twins, as well get my retirement back on track. My daughter reached out to me last week asking for a third of her college costs. I told her that it needs to come from the college fund her mother was saving. I then found out that due to some stupid decisions on my ex's part, there's only $13K in the fund instead of what should have been nearly $95K. My daughter is innocent in this, but I can't keep draining my finances because of my ex's selfishness and bad decisions. This created a huge fight between me and my daughter. She then proceeded to go to my parents, who are now planning on selling some assets to pay for her education. And now, my brother and sister have turned against me and are saying that my daughter shouldn't be our parents' problem. But I am refusing to sabotage my retirement and the younger kids' college. I'm so tired of all this. Everyone has turned against me, my wife, and my 2 younger kids. I've been feeling so depressed. My daughter won't even talk to me anymore. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your ex-wife spent almost all of the $100K you gave her for your kids' college fund on herself. She would rather live off of child support and her daughter's college fund than get a career and apply herself in life. You already paid the college costs up front, and your ex-wife literally stole that money from her daughter and spent it, but now everyone is mad at you? Hell that. The rage should be directed at your ex-wife who squandered her daughter's future for her own selfishness. Not the idiot. You provided the money for college already. If her mom lost it, she can get a damn job and replace it. Does your daughter know what her mom did and how much money should be in her account? Because she's the one who should deal with this. Your daughter is also now an adult. She can get a damn job too. As others have said, college is not a right, and most of us had to take out loans for college. It won't kill her, yes, it screws, but that's her mom's bad decisions, not yours. Let her mom and stepdad co-sign. Not the idiot, but what do you really expect your daughter to do? She ended up in a bad situation through no fault of her own. She went to you for help and you can't. That's a reasonable response on your end, but what does reason mean to her right now? At the end of the day, you already done your due diligence. But your daughter still has college fees. She still has to pay for school. She went and found somebody who can help her. You haven't done anything wrong. But I'm sure to others it just looks like you're refusing to help your daughter. For starters, she's 39 weeks, she's literally about to pop. She also got the dog without consulting me. It was literally a spur of the moment thing with her, and not one time did I complain about it or trip. He's the loveliest golden lab mix with green eyes. I will say he's a handful, and though our apartment is spacious, it's only but so big. I feel like he sleeps most of the time, but when he's in play mode, he can be a bit much. I pretty much chalk it down to the lack of special attention. Obviously, she's pregnant, so the urge to take him out and walk him on a consistent basis while I'm at work is rather non-existent. I'm not saying she doesn't at all, but I feel like a properly trained dog is gonna behave and adhere to house rules. I take him out at least twice a day and to the park at least twice a week, though I'm well aware that he should be at the park more. Secondly, I just feel like she's missing the principle. She took on the responsibility, and now she's overwhelmed. She even laughed when her sister-in-law suggested we put him on the side of the road at her sister's Mother's Day dinner. Not to mention she rushed into finalizing to move into our current apartment, which she low-key hates. She's a serial offender when it comes to this type of stuff. Furthermore, I feel like I compromise with literally everything. Whenever her 4 nieces and nephew want to come over, I might complain, but I give in. I give in to whatever she wants to eat, whatever she wants to drink. When we order food, I pay all the bills and utilities, I pay whenever she needs her hair done, etc. She literally has zero responsibilities. She hardly cooks or cleans, and I get it, she's pregnant. I just feel as though she can be a really selfish person at times, but this time she's gone too far. I've invested financially and emotionally into the dog, and we haven't even had him a full month. She gave me an ultimatum, which is me or the dog, and I responded no, it's me and Cujo or nothing. She also named him Cujo. I could be wrong in this entire situation, but I'm not budging. Everyone's the idiot here. You'll sound very toxic for two people about to bring a child into the world together. The resentment you have for your girlfriend is coming across very strongly in this post. You don't feel like she's contributing to the household, you feel she has zero responsibilities, you don't like her family, and you're mad at her for rushing to buy a dog. It sounds like the dog is becoming your line in the sand for all the things that you dislike about the soon-to-be mother of your child. Not the idiot, definitely, but you have a baby coming, and that baby is going to make a puppy look like a walk in the park by comparison. What are you going to do if she doesn't want to take care of the baby either? My second point is that yes, animals should be a lifelong commitment, but they shouldn't suffer to make a point about how they're a lifelong commitment. If no one is going to have the time or interest to train that poor dog after the baby arrives, it's definitely better to find him a new home. Everyone's the idiot here. Clearly, your girlfriend is an idiot, so I won't bother with that. You're the idiot for not considering the needs of the dog. This puppy is being neglected, and it's only going to get worse when the baby comes. And while dumping a pet after a few short months is unequivocally a jerk move, keeping said pet in this kind of situation in order to punish your girlfriend for being stupid is worse. Do the right thing and rehome this poor dog while he is still young, please. I just started college as a freshman at an art school, and they gave us the option to join dorms that had our interests and find people to live with who are like us. Our dorm is like an apartment with 2 rooms that 2 people share. The rooms are a bit small, but the living room is a big empty space with a couch and a sad little table. Me and 2 other girls got put into this dorm for gamers, and then we had a guy as our 4th, so they had to switch us for this last girl very quickly. She's nothing like us, which wouldn't be an issue if she wasn't how she is. The first issue that I had with her was the fact that she had the heat on in the dorm, but she got a heater for herself and that got worked out. The school has a wall in each dorm that they specifically let us draw on. It's strange, but I like it. The 3 of us are illustration majors, while this girl is a photography major. We started drawing on our wall, and this girl made a fit about it, saying how we didn't ask if she'd be okay with it. She had a meeting with us where she complained that we made the living room a gaming room because my roommate brought her monitor out and plugged in my Switch, and we played Super Smash Bros. One night. It was super fun to me. This girl has had friends over but complains when I have mine over, and I heard her talking to her friends about us. I have a class with one of her friends, and he just kinda gives me weird looks the whole time. When me and my roommate were walking, her friends were sitting on a bench talking, and when we walked by they all stopped talking and gave us weird looks again. She's vegan, and yesterday sent a long message about how, when we make meat, we need to clean extremely well for her in the kitchen and stuff, which I understand, but it was just so annoying how she wrote it. Well, last night I bought a fluffy black rug for the living room in our dorm. I thought it would look nice because of the big empty space. This girl went off. She said black is ugly and hides dirt, and I should have consulted everyone when getting a rug. I got this rug because me and the 2 other roommates went to Target and she didn't want to come with, and when we saw rugs we thought it would be cool to get one for the living room. When I was out, I picked one up with everyone's happiness in mind. I told her nobody consulted me over the dish soap and left. That was probably a bad thing to say, but I was mad and sad. She sent me a long text this morning about how I'm nasty for the soap and the black rug and immature and all these things. I'm just hurt honestly, but maybe I'm the idiot and she's reasonable. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. Your roommate is clearly a difficult person, but the rest of you are also clearly antagonizing by leaving her out of decisions and making it an everyone versus her situation. The wall and the rug aren't a big deal in principle, it's the lack of inclusion in the decision making that is upsetting her. Y'all know this was a problem for her, but continue to leave her out because you think it's dumb. It doesn't matter if it's dumb. You all have to live together and make the best of the situation, and if you don't learn to navigate and accommodate each other, it's going to be a long year. Everyone's the idiot here. It sounds to me like she feels very isolated and excluded and doesn't know how to cope with 3 roommates that all know each other and do things without her. She's not handling things in an appropriate or constructive manner, but neither are you really. You guys really need to have a sit down, maybe with your residence assistant, and set up some ground rules and boundaries. It's not an unfixable problem, but if you both keep acting the way you are, it will only get worse, not better. No idiots here, she definitely feels othered, and I don't blame her really for anything except the game room thing. I think she's trying to be controlling because she's outnumbered and afraid it'd be easy for the three of y'all to team up on her. That's why she keeps trying to leverage herself into an equal position with roommate meetings and crap. She should get her own pan, you really can easily miss a lot of beef fat. You definitely aren't at fault for this, but you know you'd feel weird if you walked in and your three roommates drew on the wall, got furniture made community choices, without you. To be clear, I don't think I'm an idiot, but I'd like some outside perspective. Very condensed version. I, 44, have been married to my wife for 20 years. We married young and had kids young, 19, 15. My wife and I have built a beautiful life together and both have very well-paying jobs. At this point, I'm as high in my company as I will ever get, and my wife has worked a high management position in a known multinational. I earn more than her but by very little. We live the typical suburban cookie-cutter family life. We are paying for our children's private education, our cars, our big home, and additional vacation home. Yesterday we were having dinner and joking about vacation spots when she said she'll get enough of that next year when she retires. At first, I thought she was joking and said, oh sure, then I'll retire as well and we'll live on a houseboat like I've always wanted. She got annoyed and said, well, one of us will have to keep working. Clearly, she was serious. She told me in no uncertain terms that she felt she had contributed enough. I don't know what she meant and that she needed time off. I said that if she was burned out I would do anything to help and that she could take a sabbatical or reduce her hours. At first, she seemed okay with that idea and I was sort of relieved that we had come to a compromise. Then she suddenly said that, really, the decision wasn't up to me. I told her that as her husband and given that we have a shared life, it is up to me as well as her, since it impacts me directly. I asked her how she expected us to pay the mortgage with just my salary. She got angry when I did some math in my head just to show her the overall absurdity. Then she accused me of not supporting her. I just asked her to explain where this was coming from since she's always wanted to work. She said she just wanted to experience life more, that she felt trapped at her job, and that there were ways to make it happen, like taking out loans for our kids' colleges. I have to admit that I was losing it a little at this point. Me? I don't know where this is coming from, but we can't afford for you not to work. There are no more promotions for me to be had. She answered along the lines of you could just get a different job. My wife knows how much I love my job. I've worked at this company for 17 years, I love my partners and my co-workers, and I work with my brother-in-law, her brother, who is my best friend. I told her, so you want me to be miserable at a new job for the rest of my life, just so you don't have to lift a finger anymore. She just answered, I'm going to resent you if you make me work after a time where I want to retire. I mean, cool, so she thinks I'm not going to resent her. I was exasperated and suggested we just sell everything then, if retiring is something she really wants. She just went to bed, and we haven't really talked since. I feel like I'm missing something here. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, I mean I would love to quit my job too at 40, but I still have bills to pay. And it's interesting that she said she'd be doing more travel or leisurely things when those cost money. She's not being fair at all. The best option would be to look for other jobs, something with less hours, 40 if she's currently working 50 or 60, and it may be a pay cut, but it's a compromise. She can also negotiate a start date, so she can have a gap of a couple weeks or a month for downtime or break. She sounds like she is suffering burnout and should look at therapy or doing more stuff in her free time for herself. I don't think I can make a concrete judgment. When I read this, I think, what the hell is wrong with your wife? My only conclusion is either that she has completely lost her marbles or there is something missing from her POV. I'll say no idiots here because it makes more sense that there is info missing than your wife is crazy. Basically, I'm not calling her or you an idiot, but encouraging you to figure out what's gotten into her, which I assume you already planned on doing.